So we always had been talking to you. I think we usually do every Thursday about healthier foods, but I want to say it was 2, maybe 3 weeks ago, we were talking about specifically holiday foods and maybe a healthier way to do those. And I think that's kind of what you've brought us today, right?
Yeah, November's all about Thanksgiving, right?
Yeah, it is. It is, yeah.
So you put out the challenge, and hopefully I'm meeting it week after week. We'll see. Maybe at the end we should vote what the best one was.
We maybe could do that. Yeah, I know we've got the tape of each one, so we can put a little 4 blocks deal side by side of each of the dishes, and
that would be
have
fun.
People vote on the social media.
Yes, we should do that.
Yeah.
And then maybe I'll give away like a prize package.
That would be very cool.
Now you got their attention.
Yep. Tune in.
Yeah, and you always tell me I got the good ideas.
We could do that. Yeah. So green bean casserole is the first one because, Janae said she's not a fan. So she's like, please make that first.
You elevated it, though. It's not the, cream of mushroom soup with French green onions, green bean casserole that a lot of people have, love it or hate it. You've elevated this.
Yes. And to be quite honest, like I've made it one time with the traditional ingredients that people typically use, which I am not a fan of this dish. I'm very transparent when it comes to love and hate for food.
And I think typically, maybe I'm going to miss something, Bonnie. It's usually green beans, can of, what is it? Cream of mushroom soup, and then your French's onions on top.
I don't make it either.
I don't know if there's anything else that goes in it.
I don't think there is. And I think people typically use canned green beans.
Right, right.
Which I'm not a fan of either.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I used fresh.
Nice.
Yes, fresh green beans. I think that totally changes the element right
It's not mushy.
Yes.
And it's fancy looking, too.
Actually, I think that might be one of the reasons I don't care for this dish, because when you use canned green beans and they're already mushy to begin with, and then you bake them for
they get mushier.
Yeah. I'm like, why are we eating
and texture is a big thing for a lot of people.
I would say I'm kind of here and there, but yeah, and then you add the cream of mushroom, and it just makes it more
mushy. Well, it's true.
Word of the hour.
I do like the snappy crunch and freshness of these green beans, though.
Yes, me as well. So I did the fresh green beans, and what I did was I cut up a white onion and then fresh mushrooms.
Oh, nice.
So we're gonna start with sautéing those in. We used the herbes de Provence, the wild mushroom and sage olive oil, and then the Madagascar black peppercorn oil. So Madagascar, the black peppercorn, that will replace your pepper mill. So if you like pepper on anything, just reach for that bottle instead. So 3 different oils. So we put those in the pan. We throw in the mushrooms and the onion. We kind of saute that down, make transparent onions, and then add the green beans, because you don't want to overcook these green beans. You want them to have still that snap, because remember, you're putting this in the oven still.
Yes.
Yes. So undercook. You want them to be infused with the flavors, but not fully cooked.
Right.
So then when I've got it to that point, it's just a couple minutes, I did use a can of cream of celery, which we were just talking about this before we started, but not a fan of cream of anything in a can, because it's what cream? Why? How are we making cream?
And it's really not cream, is it?
I don't. That's what I mean.
I don't know what it is, but it seems to be the Midwestern thing to do.
Yeah, and honestly, I almost didn't use it at all. I was just going to use heavy cream, which I think you could do.
Ooh,
and I think if you just added fresh celery, it might even be a little bit even better. But I did do 1 can, and I diluted it with a chicken roasted bone broth. So we're adding that. And then I just added a couple tablespoons of milk.
Okay.
To make it a little bit more creamier.
Right.
And then I threw it in the casserole pan here. And then for my topping, instead of those
Which is interesting, and it's like, what is that?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know what it is, but it's delicious.
I don't know my cooking dimensions. Is that what's considered a 4x8 Pyrex dish, or what is?
I think it's more like a 9x13.
9x13.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
See, I told you I don't know this stuff.
That's all right. The size doesn't matter. It's what's
That's
in
right.
it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
there you go. And it's
Exactly.
delicious.
That's how it tastes.
Yeah.
And then the topping, I baked these off prior. These are beer battered onion rings.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Yeah. So
I thought I tasted something really nice in there.
You tasted the beer, didn't you?
Yeah, I was like, barley and hops. I recognize this.
Yep,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is really, really
Yes.
good, Christine. It is.
So I cooked those, almost done. Again, we're not cooking them fully. And then I took them off the pan, put them on top of the casserole, and then baked it for about 30 minutes. So you're cutting down on the time, I think, too, but you're just kind of, marrying all the flavors together once you bake it at 350. I did use the seasonello seasoning. But other than that, and I had added the traditional balsamic to that, what I would call like a roux, because it had the cream of mushroom, the bone broth in it, and then a little cream.
It's almost like, it almost has like a gravy feel
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Thank you.
Well,
That's a hit.
and I would have to say, if you were to put the statistics together, your calorie, it's got to be slightly better than what typically is served, the regular green bean casserole.
Well, I
would think.
Yes, and I agree with you, because if you look at like cream of mushroom and then the French's onions, they are packed with so much sodium,
Yeah.
right? So everything tastes, and maybe that's another reason I've never cared for that dish made traditionally, because I pick up salt really, like it's on my palate so easily, just because over the time when you're using
Because you
these
don't
products.
eat as much of it.
Yeah. Yep. Because the oils don't have added sodium. So when you're using spices, you're adding sodium. So you don't pick it up as much because you're used to having it. But now over the years that I've not had it, it just instantly, the smallest amount of sodium I pick up. And that's true too, even with this. But the seasonello is made from sea salt, and it doesn't have any anti-kicking agents, any preservatives, additives. So this you can use very sparingly, and it packs the flavor too, because all the ingredients are whole in the spice. We import that in. But I feel like I'm actually quite happy with it.
Well,
That's
and I know we talk to you all the time about, you don't like to do you kind of put your own twist
Yes.
on stuff. And yeah, I think you might have a winner with this one here.
what's that one famous female chef I'm trying to think of?
Rachel Ray.
Julia
no.
Childs?
No, in between their
I like that
age
one.
demos, and I can't think of what her name is,
You
but
see here, the green bean
not
casserole.
Julia. But this is something I would expect to be. I mean, this would elevate anybody's Thanksgiving table. Ina Garten, that's who I was trying to think of.
Oh, okay.
Like something fancy like
Yeah.
that, but it sounds so simple to make.
It is. It really is. And I feel like it's a million times better.
It is really good. That's a home run. That's a win.
Thank you.
Mhm.
I think I could actually, and I might do it again,
Yeah.
but I want to try it dairy free. No
Interesting.
cream. And I think I
Interesting.
could
Okay.
accomplish that. So
Well,
There's the
had you not
possibility.
said the soup, or had you not had, it's almost like I said, it's almost like it's got a gravy, which would tie into your Thanksgiving
Yeah.
dinner gravy type
Yep.
thing. Like I wouldn't have known you put cream of celery soup in there because it has a gravy feel
well,
to
and
it.
I just used the smaller can too,
Yeah.
just to cut like the sodium.
And then the oils and the vinegars
Yep,
kind of
yep.
add to the
And the-
juiciness of it.
Correct. And the traditional balsamic is what's going to make the cream look darker, because it's a dark balsamic. So you're
Wow.
going to get that color profile that's going to come through, but that enhances the gravy or cream or whatever you want to call
Do
it.
you hand out copies? This is a recipe that you should hand out a copy for when people come
I
in
think
to buy
I'm
their
going to.
vinegars and
Yeah.
oils at Reese and
we should.
Riley's.
Yep.
Mhm.
Well, and as always, if we want to come in and ask you about any of this stuff, obviously the fact that you carry all of the ingredients that this was made with. You've got brunch coming up, you mentioned, this Saturday.
Yes, Saturday brunch. That's with the jazz band. You guys,
Yeah.
they're so
fun.
good. David and Frank, they're amazing. They're so good. They've
What
been
time
playing.
is your brunch run from?
It's from 10 until 2
This
on
coming Saturday.
Saturdays. Yep. And then we just launched yesterday, actually. We are doing Thanksgiving takeout. So this is actually going to be, it's on there, isn't it?
Yep, green beans.
Green beans. So You can pre-order your takeout menu. There's some other add-on options, and then we're also doing
Falcouterie. I've never heard that word before. Cheese and falcouterie boards.
Uh-huh. All right.
Yeah, so little more fall themed with some of the cheese cutouts, but a variety of amazing cheese and meats
And nuts and
yes,
olives, I see.
compliments. Yes,
That looks amazing.
yeah. So if you're going to a gathering, whether it's early or later, and you don't want to cook,
Pick up a falcouterie board.
Well, you think about it, there's going to be a lot of people that'll do the, maybe they're the after hours at the office or something like that. And you're
Yeah.
like, hey,
Yep.
go pick up something. Well, you're going to be a hit if you grab one of these. And,
yeah, and we can do side dishes. Like
Yeah.
if you just need one thing, you can call and be like, I want a pan of that green bean casserole.
Yeah, I would say, might I recommend the green bean casserole? It is very good.
Yes.
Absolutely. Well, Christine, if we want to talk to you about these things, anything else, come see the shop, pick up grab and go food from the coolers. How do we find you? Where are you
We
located?
are at 935 37th Avenue South in Moorhead, the Azul Strip Mall. We have two bays, so you can't miss us. The windows are all painted up.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, thank you as always for bringing us such great treats, especially because it's, Thanksgiving time of year.
Yeah.
And
What
the
are we doing
comfort
next
food.
week?
Another
what's
side?
on the
Is that
menu?
what you're
Yeah.
doing?
Well,
Well,
we're
you're-
trying to do all Thanksgiving things. So
Yes.
Why are you asking us? It's your thing. You bring it
Because-
in, and we're just like,
Well,
ooh.
I know one of the things we had mentioned was the green bean casserole, which obviously I think you've, knocked it out of the park. But the other one I thought was we were going to attempt, was it sweet potato?
I could do sweet
with like the
potatoes.
butternut squash or something.
Yeah.
Some
cranberry
other-
chutney
yeah.
on your
Yep.
menu.
We
Yeah,
could
yeah.
do the
Fabulous, too.
cranberries
Yeah.
and stuffing. I think we should do for sure.
Yes, yeah.
So maybe sweet potatoes next week.
Okay.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, and then at the end, like Christine said, a great idea. We've got the stock photos, if you will. We'll put them all up next to each other, and
Yes.
you get to choose on social media which one you think is the best. And
Yeah, we'll
Win a
put it.
prize.
We'll put together a Thanksgiving bundle
Oh,
yes,
that's nice.
Ooh, bundle rooski.
right before Thanksgiving.
All right.